Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
He ran but could not hide. Police dash cam rolling as police catch up with an armed carjacker.
Neighbors in Ray Township call it the bomb, and they don't want it built in their backyard. People in one part of Macomb County are angry and organized, and today they got the feds to fly in for a visit.
And at issue here, a new natural gas compression site. It's on Omo Road, just south of 32 Mile in Macomb County's Ray Township, an area that's been hit hard by gas explosions and accidents in the past. Sean Lay shows us just what's at stake.
Give us a moment to explain the situation. It definitely impacts you at home. Remember last winter on the coldest day of the year, you were asked to turn your thermostat down to 65 after a fire at a Consumers Energy natural gas station here in Ray Township. That's not far from here. A different company has come along. They want to build a similar facility right here, a facility neighbors have a name for.
I feel like they're building a bomb across the street from my house.
Chris Holzbeck and his family live directly across Omo Road in Ray Township from where St. Clair's Blue Water Gas Storage bought land to build a natural gas compression station to pump natural gas from here to Wisconsin. Chris can still feel when a Consumers natural gas facility exploded a mile away here back in January.
And when the blast happened, they thought a tractor was driving through the side of the door. It shook the whole building, shook the house.
Neighbors are so unhappy about the Blue Water plan that they got the attention of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. 2 representatives visiting today. First, getting an earful about safety concerns.
I mean, when Consumers had the problem last winter, they shut down half the state of Michigan.
I am worried about water. I am worried about where I live.
Then they toured the site. Blue Water is also here. It had an explosion that shook homes in this same area back in 2014. The question is, can the company now guarantee that there will not be an accident with the new facility?
There are no guarantees, but we're taking all the steps possible to make sure that this facility is as safe as possible. We're even going beyond some of the federal regulations that are required of a site like this.
We call it the bomb. I mean, every other facility in the area that they have is blown up. What's going to stop this one from blowing up?
We're live tonight. Now, we're told that the feds have the final say whether or not this project from Blue Water goes forward or not. Blue Water representative tells me, Devin and Kimberly, that they'd like to begin building this site next summer. Back to you.
Well, Sean, why that site?
Yeah, Blue Water bought the property, first of all, and it's close to their infrastructure, so they want that site. Today, the feds say they would be open to possibly looking at other sites. Blue Water didn't seem particularly interested in that, so they've already invested in this site.
Sure.
So it's something to keep an eye on to see whether or not this site goes through or not.
We'll do exactly that. All right, Sean. All right, updating now the breaking news we've been following from Allen Park this afternoon. A woman believed to be armed with what police are calling an AR-15 style rifle has a neighborhood right now on lockdown.
Police are asking homeowners in the area to stay inside and go to their basements. This is on Luana Avenue near Ecorse Road. A SWAT team recently broke a window of the woman's home and asked her to come out. We've learned police have also thrown a phone into the home to attempt to speak to the woman. It all started after the woman allegedly threatened her neighbor's family with a gun. Right now, that standoff again continues. A first-degree murder verdict has been set aside, paving the way for a new trial for Terry Lamont Wilson.
He was just 19 when he fired a shot that killed a man in a park in Clinton Township. That was in 2013. There's no disputing that. What is in dispute is why he was convicted and if he's guilty of first or second-degree murder or if he acted in self-defense.
Jason Colthorpe is here with the new information that led to this. Jason.
Yeah, Terry Wilson was charged with first-degree murder of the shooting of his friend, William Clark, but he argued it was self-defense. The jury saw it differently, but now a judge says what happened in that jury room was not justice.
Amazing. It's indescribable.
Terry Wilson's mother, Shonda, trying to put into words what a new trial means for her son.
How tough has it been, to see your boy in jail?
It was hard. It is hard.
Wilson's appellate attorney, Wade Fink, was almost out of appeal options 2 years ago when his team tried one last thing.
Why don't we interview the jurors, see if there's anything interesting that comes up, and lo and behold, we discovered a pretty massive problem.
They learned one in particular had made several racist statements.
There wasn't just one juror who heard a racist statement. It turns out there were 4. And they testified very compellingly, including one young lady who remembers the N-word being used by the same gentleman in deliberations.
Yesterday, 9 months after that hearing, Judge Jennifer Faunce issued her 35-page opinion.
And she said, no matter whether Terry's guilty or innocent, the fact is that one of his jurors was judging him on the basis of race. So essentially this case, it's as if the trial never happened.
It breaks my heart to know that he's being looked at a certain way because of his color.
Shonda has so many emotions. She's grateful that first juror had the courage to speak up. Sad that the family of William Clark will have to relive this, but most of all, thankful to God for a second chance to one day hug her son as a free man.
So many sleepless, wet pillow nights. He heard my crying, and I tell my other children every day, he'll be home.
This does not mean Terry Wilson goes free. If the prosecutor doesn't appeal this ruling, there will be a new trial on first-degree murder charges in the coming weeks, but this decision is a huge victory. First step, but a huge victory for them.
Well, what does the prosecutor's office have to say?
I reached out to the prosecutor directly. They didn't respond, but as we say, they can appeal this. If they don't, in the next couple of weeks, a new trial date should be set.
Goes over. Yeah. All right, Jason. All right, let's check in with Ben here after another very warm and rather humid day.
Yeah, muggy. The mugginess continues, Ben. Hi.
Yeah, guys, it does. In fact, the big change that we've all been looking for is just around the corner. We've got a few more hours to wait for it. And by few, I mean about 21. So, but it's coming. It's coming. 85 is in Metro right now. The humidity is high on the east side, but in some places we're getting a temporary break. But don't get fooled, because we're actually going to see that get boosted again ahead of the front that's producing these thunderstorms right now across Wisconsin and the UP. That's all coming to us very late tonight. In fact, some of us could be seeing thunderstorms before the sun comes up tomorrow. What we've been waiting for, though, is coming on Thursday. That's the humidity drop. We'll time that out, and the weekend is looking good. No two ways about that. All that coming up in a few minutes. Don't forget to download our local forecasters app. It's got interactive radar, severe weather alerts, and a lot more, all in the palm of your hand. Download it for free in your app store by searching WDIV. Kim?
A former Michigan State University dean who had oversight into former Dr. Larry Nassar is sentenced to 1 year in jail. A judge sentencing former College of Osteopathic Dean William Strample today after being convicted of neglect of duty and misconduct in office back in July. According to prosecutors, Strample harassed multiple students during his time as dean. One of those students spoke to the court before the sentence was handed down.
The very first time that this man met me, he asked how old I was, and then he made a deliberate choice to talk about someone his age and my exact age having sex. The second choice he made in that interaction, he decided to joke about the possibility of seeing naked pictures of me. I was alone with him in a room, and there were closed doors. He was in between me and the door. This all happened on the very first day he had ever met me. I have to ask, why was he so confident in thinking he could get away with talking about these things with me in a professional academic setting? And it makes me wonder how many other people he has done this to in order for him to have gained this much confidence in thinking that he could get away with it.
Strample is the first MSU staffer convicted after an investigation into the school's handling of Larry Nassar.
Police in Livonia tracked down an armed carjacker following a robbery at a Meijer on 5 Mile near Merriman Road. The dashcam video shows 32-year-old Kevin Hall taking off on foot after crashing the stolen SUV. Police were able to locate him a short time later near an apartment complex. Hall is going to appear in court tomorrow, where he is facing a whopping 14 felony charges.
Also in Livonia, voters there have set up a historic November vote.
Emerging from last night's primary election in the race for mayor, 2 women. Coco McAvoy caught up with both candidates looking to become Livonia's first mayor who was not a man. Coco?
The city of Livonia has been established for decades, but this year the residents will see its first female mayor ever in the city's history. And we're introducing you to the 2 women battling for the job. Livonia's next mayor will come down to these two accomplished women going head to head for the job. Laura Toy is the Livonia City Council president who served in the Senate.
We had a grassroots team. We continue to have a grassroots team. And, you know, people in Livonia have always been so good to me.
Maureen Miller-Brosnan spent 17 years as part of Livonia's City Council and has held several leadership positions.
It is a really exciting election that we have coming up here, and one that I've spent my whole life building up for.
Both women are lifelong Livonia residents with a strong love for the city.
Born and raised in Livonia, my mom and dad lived just a couple blocks from City Hall.
I've lived here forever. My dad was number 6 on the police department. My mother was a school teacher.
The candidates want to tackle a lot of issues in the city. One is public safety.
So the number one problem that I'm going to have to come in here and fix day one is making sure that we're able to build and grow our police and public safety department, our fire and police.
There's a shortage of officers and firefighters in Livonia, and Toy also wants to address it.
Looking at their budget, looking at their retirement, and making sure they have what they need.
Toy and Miller-Brosnan have already been the first in many ways.
I'm the firstborn in my family, the first person in my family to go to college. I am the youngest person to ever serve on the Livonia City Council.
And I was Livonia's first female senator, and it's certainly important, as are all people important to us.
They're both hoping to make history as Livonia's first female mayor. I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
We've got their first lined up,
They
and they're
do.
talking. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch as we head toward the election. Let's get a look at what's coming up on NBC Nightly News here at 6:30.
Lester Holt joins us live from New York with a preview. Lester, good evening.
Hey, Kim and Devin, coming up, a hero from El Paso shares his emotional story, how he rushed 150 people to safety. Plus, the growing backlash against popular fitness chains, the billionaire founder taking heat for planning a fundraiser, customers using their wallets to send a message.
Yeah, and this has to do with that founder's politics, right, Lester?
It does, and the fitness chains are having to respond, trying to keep people from canceling classes and memberships. We'll have details on this when we see you tonight on Nightly News.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. We'll see you in just a bit.
All right, Lester, still ahead for us. Dr. Frank B. George back with research on how your choice of protein might affect breast cancer risk.
Plus, remember that 8-foot cutout of Bigfoot a lot of people were searching for yesterday in Howell? Well, it's back, but it doesn't look quite the same. We'll show you how next.